Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of She Said, He Said. I'm your host, Rob. I have my special guest with me once again, Neka.
Hey.
It's Wes.
Neka
And
and
it's
Wes are
Neka.
back. Neka and Wes are back. We had such fun last time that I said, hey, I want to have you guys back and do another show about another topic. And of course, she's my best friend, so she said yes. And her husband's awesome. He's my brother-in-law, so he said yes as well. All right.
Brothers-in-laws.
So, last time I had them on the show, we talked about commonalities and values in a relationship. Now, this one is not necessarily along the same lines, but I think it's another added value to any relationship, and that is happy couples. Why you should know them and why you should keep them around, especially when you're in a relationship. So, what is... You two are what I would call a happy couple.
Well, thank you, Robert. We put on a really good front, don't we?
We front good. We get paid.
You
know what? But no, for real. I've never seen Neka smile more. I've never seen her happier ever in my life. And I've known her since 88. Okay, not 88. But
it's coming up on our 10-year anniversary, Robert. 10 years we've been together.
You're gonna have to cut that out. Yeah, 10 years, man. And to me, that's a happy couple. I can tell that when there's an issue, they work it out, they talk it out, and they stick it out, and they want to be with each other. They are giving to each other, and they respect each other.
You know what the secret is?
Don't get that away for free. We gotta charge for that.
No,
Okay.
It's free.
What is it?
He's my friend. I like him a lot.
Oh, really?
Mm.
I try to date my friends all the time. It'll never work. No, you're too good of a friend to date. What?
Yeah, that's
the point.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yep,
Nobody
that
wants
is
to
the
date their
problem.
friend, but that's the best person to date. Like when he gets on my nerves as my husband, he's still my friend. I just go talk trash to him about him and get it all out, and we're right back together. No problem.
Yep.
Y'all heard that, right? This is from a happily married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if y'all
Openly expressed. You can never be afraid to say what's on your mind, but the actual love that you have for that person and respect, you know how to express it. So you can be mad at them, but you cussing them out and wanting to throw stuff at them, that's not showing respect. But you can openly say, look, this is what I can't stand about you. Please don't do it again, because this is how it makes me feel, blah, blah. And then, y'all work it out. You're adults.
I mean, at the end of the day, you do that to your friend.
Yeah.
Robbie, I tell you about things I don't like.
You do.
I do.
You do.
Because I love you and I have the utmost respect for you. And so if you can openly tell your friend the things that you don't like, and they don't get all postal and want to end your friendship, then that's the same type of situation you want to take into your relationship or your marriage. You want to have that same type of communication.
You
should be able to say, hey, boo, you look really fat today. Like, I don't know where you think you're going with that outfit on. And they might be offended as your husband, but as your friend, they're like, true, I do need to tuck it in, don't I? Yeah, okay. And move on.
And I'm very realistic. Like, I'm gonna be mad. Like, I always tell Neka, give me 24 hours. Like, I'm gonna be mad at whatever she said for 24 hours. Let me have that.
Nah, don't let him go 24 hours.
But I'm not
the
gonna
tickle monster comes out.
Oh my God! What?
That sounds stupid.
We never go 24 hours. It never works.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But then you could never be mad at your best friend for that long neither. And so that's the point. All that blah, blah. I can't date my friend. Well, that's probably why you're miserable. And I think every couple that we've ever been around, every, successfully happy couple that we've been around, the common denominator is that they're friends. You look at couples been together 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they're like, you know what? I like him. That's my friend.
And they're honest with each other.
Yeah.
There's nothing held back. Because you'd be like, man, you really said that to her? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, they know. They're on that level. They understand that.
So
Yeah.
if your relationship is going to grow because you have a great friendship, then why not start your relationship based on a great friendship?
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why you should have happy or quote unquote successful couples in your life. Me being single, I've learned so much from Neka's past relationship and present relationship. Her present relationship more so because of all the things that they just said. You learn so many things, and it makes you look in the mirror and say, am I that type of person? Could I be that type of person? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And it makes you reevaluate yourself, because it does take a lot of work, energy, and effort. But y'all just dropped some jewels. Y'all made me think about something. Now I gotta go through and see who my friends are and say, hey, what's up? You think we should
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
up with that?
Nah. I don't know. But
I think it's kind of a two-edged sword though, because depending on the type of person you are, you have to make sure that when you have those couples around you.
Yep.
Oh, that's a really cool pen.
I told you it was a pin. I
That's
thought it was.
that is a pen.
Yeah.
Are those Christmas lights?
Yeah, they're Christmas lights.
Oh. I can't remember what I was saying.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Other. Remember we were talking earlier.
Oh, yeah, you got to make sure that you're not that type of person that will look at the other couple and then start comparing your relationship with that couple.
Say that again.
Like,
Say
oh,
it
babe,
again.
why we don't do this? Why we don't do that?
Yeah. I mean. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna tell her to say that again, because I've run into that in relationships where they say, well, such and such does such and such. I'm like, well, that's not us. That's not even something that we're into. If we want to try to be different or grow in a different direction, and that's something we need to talk about based on us and where we are and what we have, because you can't look at, Sam and Mary, well, they go to the Bahamas every year. Yeah, honey, they both make $120,000 a year too.
Right.
That
Right.
and I think that's a problem. You can't directly compare your relationship to someone else's, because you don't know the history behind that relationship, and you don't know what went into that relationship to get them to that level. You don't know how long it took them to get to the level that they're on.
That's why. So I was telling Neka, I was like, man, we don't really. I can't say. I mean, not to. What are you doing?
You pop yourself with that rubber band?
See, that's what she get for playing with it.
Oh God. Go ahead, brother-in-law.
While you rest real quick. So I was saying we people compare themselves to happy couples. Oh, why can't we be like them? Or but I mean, you have to be yourself. I was using the phrase, you gotta work on your own yard. Don't be looking at other people's grass.
Yeah.
And we could care less about not saying that we don't care about other people.
We don't care.
But we're not like, oh, look at them. We want to be like them. Okay, that's nice, but we're us.
Yep.
And like you said, we don't want to be someone else. We want to be a better version of ourselves, but not someone else. Not copy after somebody else.
Yep.
I think it's important to have those type of positive relationships
Good
around, because
yeah,
it is
They're
good
gonna rub off on you.
association.
they're gonna rub off on you one way or the other.
You don't want to hang around a negative Nancy, or you don't want to hang around a couple who has problems, because those individuals are going to bring their issues to you.
And they're gonna kill your vibe.
They sure are.
They sure do. They'll do it every time, and then she's gonna be talking to your girl, and he gonna be man, look, dog, let me tell you about these shits, dog. And then you gonna start getting thoughts and feelings that you never even had before, that you don't even need to have, all because of that outside influence. That's a shame. And I feel like love is important. I feel like we don't see enough love being expressed and shown on a day-to-day basis. There's more negative in the world, than positive that we normally see. And I think also oh my God, she's holding up a heart. And I think that having those positive couples, can help you through the bad times too. Like if I'm going through something with my girl or something, or if I was, when I was in a relationship or something, I knew I could call someone like Neka, who is, number one, not just in a good relationship, but number two, is a good friend, because a good friend will tell you about yourself. They'll say, look, based on what you just told me, I know you. So you probably did this, that, and the third. Because, a lot of times when we mess up or there's an issue, we like to tell about 60% of the story, and that 60% is typically the other person doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So I try not to be that way, but I've gotten better at it. I try not to be that way though, but that's another reason why. Because my thing is this: you need to go to an expert. Doesn't really exist in this case, but you want to go to an expert. You know what I'm saying? If I got a problem with my car, I'm not going to go to the grocery store. Just like if I have a problem in my relationship, I'm not going to go to somebody who's single. I need to talk to people who are in good, happy, healthy relationships to the extent that I know of, that I trust, because they're going to be the ones who know the pitfalls. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be the ones who have been through or are going through that. And they're going to be the ones that say, hey, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. I know more than one, quote unquote happy or successful couple. And when I was having certain issues in a past relationship, they told me the same things. They don't even know each other. Like one literally lives in a different part of the country. And I would ask one, who was married something, and we'd have like an hour-long conversation. Now I would talk to another dude and another dude. And it's like, yo, they're all saying the same thing. So, that's something that you can't put a price tag on right there.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's important to establish what is the person's idea of a successful and happy couple too, because I was thinking about my previous relationship. His idea of a successful couple was very obscure. So the insight and the advice that came from came from his end was never, clearly it didn't work. So it's kind of like, do you establish that when you're, in the beginning of your relationship? Or, I guess we're talking about marriage. So do you establish that at the beginning of your marriage? Or, how do you come about saying, hey, this is someone who we can go to, who's going to have an unbiased opinion, who's going to give it to us straight up like it is, and I don't have to worry about their, ideas of marriage and relationship versus ours. Because you can have a successful couple who their idea of success is, oh girl, that man gonna do what he want to do, just leave him alone. Whereas Neka not gonna tolerate that, because you ain't about to do whatever you want to do up in here. That's not why we together. That is true. If you're gonna do whatever you want to do, then you go do that by yourself. While we're together, we're doing what we want to do. Like that I becomes we. And so I think you really have to figure out, who is the go-to person, what couple has the same values that you have, or the same values that you're trying to exhibit in your relationship. Because to get advice from someone who doesn't care, to get advice from a couple that's swinging, and you don't swing, is not, that they're happy, they're successful, but we're not on the same page.
This is true. I have something to say about that, but we got to take a little quick commercial break. We will continue talking about that when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. She said, he said. All right, we are back. What?
You missed the burp. I burped.
They didn't want to hear that. All right, we're back. And what Neka was just talking about was basically, how do you know someone is a true go-to couple? And for me, I think you learn it as you get older, because once you get older, well, I would hope that once most of y'all get older, you start weeding out associates and friends. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have very many people that I call friends, and I know I'm honest with myself. I know I'll call a spade. I know who I can go to. Like Neka, there's you, and there's maybe about 4 go-to couples. I have one family member that I'll go to. I have a cousin, I have you, and I have about 1 or 2 more couples, but that's it. The other people, they're still my friends, but I look at that type of relationship and my personality type and his personality type, and I kind of like put myself in their shoes and say, I think that's the kind of relationship I'm going to end up in. So you got to kind of weigh that. That's a personal thing that you have to weigh. But like you said, you can't do it. Like, if you know your homeboy is always dogging his girl, you don't want to call him, of course. You know what I mean? You probably want to call the homeboy you probably want to call somebody who's going to tell you what you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it.
Right.
That's probably the perfect person to call, and that's what I did. That's why I get scared before I call Neka sometimes for advice because I know.
Oh yeah, she gives it to you real, whether you want to hear it or not.
Like, Robbie, what did you do?
But I don't
You
never.
in that purple shirt.
Yeah. Really? Yo, I can't believe you said that. All right, moving. I gotta tell you something after this show. Don't bring up the purple shirt, please.
Worms.
It's just a shirt. But anyway, moving forward. That is too funny. Moving forward, back to happy couples. So do y'all have any happy couples that y'all talk to or hang out with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We got a couple of them.
What?
And the ages range.
Uh-huh.
So they're not always close to our age. The best ones to talk to are the ones who've been together for like years and they're in their 60s and 70s. Like those are the straight up.
Oh yeah, they're the best.
Oh man,
they're the best because
they tell you like it is. Like they don't cut any corners, and they'll even tell you about yourself. Like what
they're like, look. Matter of fact, one that comes to mind. The first question he asks when there's a little tribulation or trials that we're undergoing in our relationship, and he's like, "Well, are you still doing it?" That's his question. not that it's the answer to everything, but he's like, well, so many people use that. What they say, they use sex as a weapon, or they use it as a matter of punishment.
They do.
And he recognizes that, and he's like, look, it don't matter how upsetting the situation is or how long you guys have, been dealing with your issues. You need to continue to have. You need to continue to be intimate, period. Like, that's not an option. That's not an option because that creates even more issues. So that's always his question. I mean, they've been married for 50, 60 years now. I mean, it might be a little bit more than that. 50, 60, they're like in their 80s. But that's his go-take question. Like, what are you doing? Are you keeping the intimacy? Are you rendering your dues? Are you doing what you're supposed? Are you handling your business? You cooking dinner for this man? Are you taking care of him like you're supposed to? I mean, not that that's going to answer or solve all the problems, but if you're not doing that, then now you create more problems.
Wow. And you know what? It's funny. A lot of people don't think about that. When I'm with you and you have all the privileges and benefits of being with me, just because I'm upset with you, if we're still together, that doesn't mean I get to start pulling those things back. You know what I'm saying? I might not want to talk to you, and I'll let you know, like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to take you out right now. That doesn't mean I'm not going to cut the grass and not rub your feet after work. I just might be upset. And like y'all said, I just might need a day. But yeah, I think that is so whack when people start. It's kind of like you're treating a person like a child who messed up in school, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to take your PlayStation from you. No, that's not really how it works. We're in this together. So I still have needs just like you still have needs. Just because we're going through something emotional doesn't mean that you have to start taking away physical things of that nature. I hate when people do that, man. And then, like you said, a lot of times that's when it really falls apart, because it's like, oh, okay, let's go tit for tat. You want to take this away? Well, I'm going to go hang out with the boys. Or I'm going to go hang out with the girls.
And those urges and desires that you have don't go away just because the person laying next to you ain't giving it to you. So now you open up a door for somebody else to come in. Then you got a problem. So, it's a lot of things that we learn from our older couples, been together 20 to 50 years. Like, they are amazing.
I gotta find me one of those.
And
yeah, you got to.
I mean,
and the crazy part is they're not necessarily going to approach you because they care less. I'm like, these young kids. But if you actually take the time to like converse with them, I'm like, oh, y'all actually want to talk to them. They'll spit that knowledge like right there. They're like, well, since you came to talk to me, let me tell you a little something. And then that's how you learn from them. And like they appreciate that you actually want to be in their company, because the society we live in, it's like it's a generation gap. If you old and you a certain age, and younger people like, they old, they outdated, we don't want nothing to do with them. But those people spit some real knowledge. Like
real knowledge.
And
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to get to where they are.
Right.
And so they're the best people to tell us how
True.
they got to that point. So,
True.
yeah, I mean, they're phenomenal. And I think having couples around
and
our
age,
age
and around our age,
are
positive,
positive
it's good
too.
Yeah.
So
You gotta find the right ones.
you gotta have
but-
a variety, a good variety.
Yeah.
I have an older couple. They're not too much older though, cause my cousin's a little older than me. Then my uncle, who's much older than me, of course. Yeah, but I need to find one of those old couples like that where they both still alive at least. That's hard to find. That's hard to find.
That's true.
But yeah, that, I mean, again, ladies and gentlemen, those of you listening, you know, you gotta choose these people wisely, but they're very, 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 very helpful. Like, I'm learning right now. Like, Neka, where'd this level of intelligence come from? Like, you've always been a little brainiac, but this is a whole nother level. It's a whole new you.
I beg your pardon.
Together we upgraded.
Here he
Yeah,
goes.
yeah, that's true.
I upgraded her.
Oh God.
I you know what? I agree.
No.
No,
No.
he hasn't
Hey,
made you a better person.
Who?
Equal.
Your husband, he hasn't made you a better
Did
person.
my husband make me a better person?
Help you to become a better
The
person.
Lord helped me to become a better person.
Oh, the ultimate inarguable answer.
Yeah. But you know what, Robbie? Seriously though, like, because you've known me, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary coming up, and so there is a huge difference between me now and me before, and I do attribute a lot of the progress from like me becoming more of a spiritual person, like diving into my Bible and really understanding my role as a person and in my role as a wife. You know, it helps you to respect the arrangement, the marriage arrangement and the relationship arrangement, you know, in general. And so just evolving as a person, and understanding my standards spiritually and my standards of you know, what I've created as a buffer. You know, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. This is what I'm going to deal with. These are the people I'm going to hang around. These are the type of personalities I want in my circle. Right. And like weeding those things out, it significantly helped to be a better person. And I think as a woman and as a man, if you want to get to that place in life, you're going to have to go on some sort of spiritual journey. Like if you're always out here just doing things the way you want to do, you are going to run into walls and you're going to beat yourself up and you're going to bang yourself up. And at the end of the day, you're still going to be trying to figure it out. Whereas the path is already laid out for you. You just got to follow that path. It just makes you a more grounded person. And it opens up the door for better people to come into your life. You have a better group of people to choose from. You have a more diverse group of men to, you know, pick from as far as relationships. You know, women always want these men, but they're not quality enough to have one. So I mean, if you're not of a certain quality, you can't expect to have that same quality in a man, and that goes vice versa for men as well. You have to be able to bring something to the table.
It's just like you were saying. Don't was that last podcast? It might have been the last one, but don't expect someone to do something for you that you wouldn't do for them. It's kind of similar within a relationship. Don't expect someone to bring something to the table if you're not willing to bring it all. You know, you can go to Bloomingdale's and want all this, but you ain't got no money. So
and that's the same for friendships too. I mean,
you have the right to choose. You'd have the right to choose who you want to be around. You don't have to accept everybody in every situation. You can say, "Nah, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put up with this person." You know, there's nothing wrong with saying it. It doesn't make you a bad person or like you're better than somebody. It's, you know, I choose to. You know, I this is better for me. You know.
And then you think about when you want these people in your life, these successful, happy couples in your life. Well, you can't be the miserable couple because they don't want you in your life.
That's true.
I think for Wes and I, we know what we value our relationship. We know what we can do for other people. And so when we get together, that's kind of not that we size people up, or size couples up, but we're like, oh, okay, they seem cool. Let's check them out. Let's see how they are. It's kind of like an evaluation period. You know, are they talking positive? Do they have good goals? Are they trying to do things together, or are they bashing and dogging and disrespecting each other? Because if that's what they're doing, we're not about that life. So we'll holler at you when you doing a little bit better with yourself.
I got, you know what? I got something to add to that. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. She said, he said. All right, we are back. To the point that you made earlier, about spirituality and how people say they want certain things but they're not ready themselves. Another thing that people need to think about is just because you meet someone, you know, you got your stuff together, you feel like, you know, you're deserving of, and you meet someone who looks like they have their stuff together, that's really where the work begins. You found each other, which can be difficult at times to find a good person, but once you do, that's where the work begins, because now it's like, okay, now we have to work together. Like, your good stuff and my good stuff might not necessarily be a good mixture of stuff. And that's where the work, I think, really truly begins. So you can't be out here saying you want something and not be willing to work on it. And again, this is why having those happy couples and successful couples around you makes sense, because they've been through it. You know what I'm saying? You're traveling down a path that you've never been down before. You know, just because you've dated before, you have not dated this person. So you're going to come running, because like my last girlfriend and the one before that, two totally separate situations. I was a different age, and the issues I had in one relationship did not parallel the other. There was things I just had no idea about. And like, I literally questioned my sanity at times, and I had to call some people. I'm like, look, bro, I know I don't normally talk to you about this stuff, but like, what's going on? And some of the stuff he was like, yo, you got to do this. Some of the stuff he was like, you got to do that. Some of the stuff he was like, yo, that's just women. Like, it was just, because I try to base everything off logic, and love is not logical. It's illogical. You can't predict it. You can't define it. You can't put it in a little itty bitty box and say this is what it is. It changes. It evolves. So that's something I really truly learned, and I just had to adjust to. But I'm very, very thankful for the happy couples I have in my life, because they give me hope in saying, you know what, the future Mrs. Beep is out there somewhere. So she's out there somewhere. No, I didn't call you a cuss word, future wife. I just didn't say my name. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, and continue to put good out in the world and dropping these jewels for people like me. Y'all got anything else on this topic?
Just the principle that, you know, good association always helps. You know, people say birds of a feather flock together. So whoever you are around, you're gonna pick up something from them, the good, the bad, the ugly, all. So just keep that in mind whenever whoever you choose to associate with, you know, especially when you're in a relationship, because that's when it gets real, you know, it gets real touchy. So you're gonna absorb. So make sure you absorb something from good couples, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And be a good influence yourself.
And if you can't figure out who it is in your circle that isn't the best influence, it's probably because it's you. So you might want to do a self-evaluation of yourself and your relationship. If everybody else is top notch, you might want to look at yourself, you know.
Moral of the story, don't be the bad couple.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me once again. We had Neka and Wes. Thank you, guys. Love you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see y'all next time on She Said, He Said. Peace.
Right.